let's just state it plainly. We are in the middle of one of the biggest technological shifts in human history. The race to build and, ultimately rule the future of artificial intelligence is officially on. And it is moving at a speed that is, well, it's just staggering.
I mean, think about that for a second. What used to take 10 years of progress is now being crammed into a single week. Breakthroughs that felt like pure science fiction not too long ago are now just another Tuesday headline. The ground is literally shifting beneath our feet constantly.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're going to break down here. Because underneath all the hype and the headlines, there are really three massive battles being fought right now. A battle over who gets to build the core technology, a battle over the physical foundations it all runs on, and maybe the most important one, a battle for who gets to write the rules that will govern all of us. So, first up, the architects. Look, this isn't just about some cool new app on your phone. This is a high-stakes, all-out war between a very small group of companies to create the foundational AI models that are going to power pretty much everything in our future.
And this market, it is unbelievably reactive. For instance, when Google's Gemini 3 dropped and blew people away, OpenAI apparently declared a code red. They were scrambling their teams just to improve ChatGPT's performance. There are even whispers they're fast-tracking a whole new model, GPT 5.2, just to stay ahead. And it's not just about the code, it's about the people. OpenAI has been on a hiring spree, poaching top talent from places like Apple, which tells you they're not just thinking about software anymore, but hardware too.
But here's where it gets messy. As these models get smarter, they get hungrier for data. And that leads us to this huge legal showdown. On one side, you've got the New York Times, saying AI companies like Perplexity are basically just stealing years of their journalism on a massive scale. But on the other side, Perplexity is saying, whoa, hold on, we're just doing what Google has done for decades, indexing the web and pointing back to the source. The result of this one case could literally rewrite the economic rules of the entire internet.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures Perplexity's whole vibe. Their head of comms is basically saying, we've seen this movie before. They see themselves as the next big thing, and this is just another case of an old-school industry trying, and, in their opinion, failing, to stop what's coming next. It's a really defiant stance in a fight that is nowhere near over.
Okay, so behind every single one of these AI models, there is a massive physical world of infrastructure. And that brings us to the second race, the race to build the actual foundation, the concrete, the silicon, the billions of dollars that this whole new world depends on. And the scale we're talking about is, well, it's just hard to wrap your head around. Look at this number, 7 billion Australian dollars. That's the price of admission for a single OpenAI data campus in Sydney. It just goes to show you the insane amount of money you need just to play the game. Compute power is the new oil, and everybody is desperately trying to drill for it. But just as you're processing that $7 billion figure, you get this, a huge warning from the CEO of IBM. He's projecting that the total cost to build the data centers we'd need for true artificial general intelligence could hit an astronomical $8 trillion. His point is, at some level, the current strategy of just building bigger and bigger and bigger, well, the math just might not work. It might not be sustainable.
And it's not just about the giant buildings, it's also about the specialized plumbing that goes inside them. This chart here shows the insane growth of something called the vector database market. It's a critical piece of the puzzle for AI memory. It's projected to skyrocket to almost $9 billion. But at the exact same time, you've got giants like Amazon Web Services jumping in, claiming their new tech can slash costs by up to 90%. So you have this crazy tension. The whole thing is exploding in value while also being under intense pressure to get cheaper and more efficient.
So, why are they building all this stuff? Well, it's to power the next giant leap in AI. It's called agentic AI. And this is not your simple chatbot that just answers questions. No, this is AI that doesn't just tell you how to do something. It actually goes and does it for you. It can understand a goal, come up with a plan, and use tools to get stuff done. We're talking about a fundamental shift from a passive assistant to an active partner. Which, of course, brings us to what might be the most important battle of all. If you have AI that can actually act on its own in the world, who gets to decide what the rules are? This is the global fight to create the blueprint, the laws, the ethics that will control our future. And Europe is not waiting around to figure this out. Regulators there are already on the offensive, using their power to police big tech. The EU just launched a massive investigation into Meta, They're worried that Meta might be using its control over WhatsApp to crush smaller AI chatbot competitors. And they've already slapped X, formerly Twitter, with a huge fine for things like deceptive design. It's a really clear signal. They plan on enforcing the rules, not just writing them. But even with all that regulatory pressure, just look at these grades. The Future of Life Institute did an assessment of all the major AI labs on their safety practices, and nobody even got a B, not one. I mean, OpenAI gets a C+. This report card shows a really dangerous gap. The power of AI is growing way, way faster than our ability to safely control it. And if that report card wasn't clear enough, this quote from the Institute's president just lays it bare. It's chilling. Right now, in the US, the companies building what could be the most powerful technology in human history are subject to fewer specific regulations than your local diner. Let that sink in. So, with the federal government moving slowly, states are starting to jump into the void. This proposal in Florida for an AI Bill of Rights is a really interesting look at how local governments are trying to get ahead of the problem. It's all about practical, consumer-first rules, things like forcing companies to label deepfakes, giving parents more control, and even trying to limit the environmental impact of all those new data centers. Okay, so we've talked about the architects, the physical foundation, the fight over the rules. But what does all of this actually mean for you, for your daily life? Let's bring this all the way down to earth and look at how AI is showing up, for better and for worse. All right, first, the good stuff, the incredible convenience. The grocery chain Albertsons rolled out an AI assistant that can take a recipe you like, plan out your meals for the week, and turn it all into a shopping cart in minutes. A chore that used to take, 45 minutes? It's now done in 4. That's a real tangible win. But then you have this. And this is the whole dilemma in a nutshell. The very same AI model, xAI's Grok, is the hero and the villain in 2 different stories. In one, a guy says it literally saved his life, flagging a serious medical issue that his doctors completely missed. In another, that exact same model was found to give out detailed, step-by-step instructions on how to stalk someone. It's this unbelievable power for both incredible good and incredible harm, often baked into the very same tool. And make no mistake, AI is truly becoming a part of everything. It's in your Tesla, helping you get around town. It's being used by the FDA to speed up drug safety reviews. It's even creating whole new ways of working, like this new wave of solopreneurs in China who are launching entire companies run by just one person and a suite of AI tools. This stuff isn't on the horizon anymore. It is here. So that brings us back to where we started. AI is here. It's learning, it's building, and it's starting to act for us. The big question we all have to face now is no longer if this technology is going to change our world. That's a done deal. It's already happening. The real trillion-dollar question is, who gets to decide how?